In this video, we're going to be going over my best Supreme Arena defenses I'm running on my main account this week and also on the pay to win account. Before we get into it, let's take a look at the Supreme points we're up to on the main account, 1,180. We managed to finish in the top 5 2 times out of the 5 different ones last week, which is better than I have done up until right now. Let's go ahead and go into the formation. So the team number 1 is going to be the Tassi Bonnie Stroll comp, which we also ran in the previous week. I chose to run it in this map specifically because otherwise these two tiles in the back become pretty awkward. But for Tassi and Bonnie, there's no issue of running them on these tiles in the corner there. In fact, it's probably better for them. And then in the same way, we have Haywin majorly protected by Damien's charms to give her more damage reduction and also energy on hit to cast her ultimate more quickly. We have Thorin's Soul Pact onto her, and then she has her own invincibility charms. She is going to be very difficult to kill. Basically, no one is going to be dying in the first 10 or 15 seconds of this match, which is going to allow maximum duration of the concealed effect onto Tassi and Bonnie. Thorin is behind the wall. However, I think I'm fine with that. Like, Thorin is just to tank out the opponents, and Tassi and Bonnie are going to try to begin damaging them. With the Surging spell is a really good artifact choice for this team because it is a stall heavy team. You're going to be able to proc it and get value of it over the whole fight. So this is an amazing team. It did very well for me in the previous week, and I am expecting it to do very well in this week. Okay, moving on to team number 2. Team number 2 is going to be our Mauler team with Talene. So I have Talene belt, and you can use Talene as a pseudo tank in the front position because she will take the aggro of the opponents, she will take damage, maybe even die, but then she will resurrect and be able to cast her ultimate and get off her own damage. She's basically a free tank that can keep taking damage over the course of the fight. And that is why I have her front and center to try to take the aggro of as many of the enemy heroes as possible. We have Shakir with the charm bonus from Coco because that is going to give him the damage reduction and the shield as well and the energy on hit, making him way tankier, and that is what Shakir needs to be able to get off his ultimate. We have Coco on the other Mauler faction tile because I think that she will be then teleported into the enemy team, and Coco has an ability, if you see here, Pattern Smash, that if there are nearby adjacent enemies, she will stun them for 3 seconds, which is a pretty massive stun, crowd control, and yeah, I think this is gonna be a good option, having her on the Mauler faction tile. Then we have Brutus right in the back to take enemy Greyborn faction talents, to take Bonnie debuffs, and basically protect the Vala by having him behind the Vala. And Vala is going to be our damage threat for this team. Now, the thing is, you guys may not have Talene. If you don't have Talene, I think what I would recommend is I would try to go for a team comp like this with Freestro, which a lot of people will have. And you can just have the Illusion Freestro in front of Vala, giving her the damage reduction. It's so confusing. Vala and Velka are so close together. Like, each time I say Velka, I'm like, in my head, am I actually calling it by the right name? Is it Vala? Is it Velka? Anyway, this is Vala. Illusion Freestro will tank some of the aggro of the opponent, and our main Freestro is very well protected. And again, just Brutus in the back to take the enemy Greyborn faction talent, Bonnie debuffs. So I think this can be a decent team. It won't be as good as a Talene version, but I think this is what I would recommend if you don't have Talene. But that being said, we do have Talene, and so we're going to be running this version. And I think it should be fine. This is definitely my weakest of the 3 teams. However, it isn't bad. It isn't a bad team, and I think it does have the kill threat and kill potential. We're running it with the Storm Strike spell. That gives you more like kill threat, and when you get damage onto the opponent, there's bonus damage dealt and vitality reduced. So I think overall this should be a fine team. And then finally for map number 3, definitely I wanted to run the Iron team here because even though we can't give Almas charms onto like Arden in the back, for example, because of this map will prevent that from happening, the buff tile you have here is really good for long range damage deals, increase attack speed of the hero placed here, and also grant them life drain. This is really good for Odie and also very good for Arden. You know, this would also be good for the Bonnie Tassi comp. You could have them here, but I felt like that other map was not as optimal for the remainder of the team, and that is why I opted to go for this here. Also, Iron does really well into this map because if you look at the offense side when you're attacking in, it is very grouped up. Like, it is very difficult to spread your team wide enough to not get hit by a 3-man or 4-man Iron ultimate. And we have almost charms onto Iron because Iron can deal some pretty insane damage. Now, the thing is, we're not running Nero in this comp anymore because Nero is good to take the enemy Lily May interruption. However, the problem is, if you run Nero on this team, people will just not bring Lily May and they'll bring some other alternate way of locking down this team. And that is why it's better to go full offensive, let them interrupt you with Lily May, but you also have massive nuking potential with your own Lily May, Aradin, and Odie. The only thing I'm thinking about is, would it be better to have Lily May with the charm bonus of Almas, because that is guaranteed damage? Iron is really good if he can get off his ultimate, but people will probably be bringing Lily May here. But on offense, I think this is probably going to be better, because Iron, with that AoE damage, he's going to get a lot of value. And we have the overcharge spell onto Arden to cycle his ultimates and have the crowd control and damage. So overall, I'm very happy with this team, and there will be a formation ID in the lower left corner, and you guys can copy it down. This is making use of all of my key heroes pretty much, and so now we're going to move on to the pay-to-win teams. As for the pay-to-win teams, it's very funny because my first team of the pay-to-win team is almost identical to my third team on my main account team. However, rather than Odie, we're using Elsa. This has way more nuking potential with Elsa in a crowd control comp, and because this account has Elsa higher ascended, that is something I have to mention. If you have Elsa to an equal level of ascension as Odie, you can run her in this comp. It might be better for you. However, Odie is really good here too. Honestly, there are certain cases where Odie is even better than Elsa, but personally, we're going to be trying Elsa here. And again, even if this is not the strongest defense, I use the same defense teams on offense, and you can usually find one enemy team to absolutely crush a nuke with a comp like this, and that is the whole idea. With the overcharge spell onto Ard in the back, otherwise the positioning is basically the same. Iron can get pretty decent value here. I mean, most of the enemy teams should be grouped up somewhere on the map. So yeah, moving on to team number 2. Team number 2 is going to be our Graveborn nuke team with Harak, but I'm like, okay, let's forget about having Thorin Soul Pack the Harak. Maybe this is like too aggressive of a strategy, but I'm gonna have multiple kill threats. We have Sylvina as one kill threat, we have Siren as another on this attack speed boosted tile. Siren is a major hero to watch out for because when he gets off his ultimate, that is a lot of damage and crowd control, and so if the opponent just focuses on killing Harak, it might not be enough for them. However, that being said, I do realize there are issues with this team. Definitely, if they try to nuke Harak at the beginning of the fight, that is a major problem. They won't be able to like crowd control him because he's unaffected with the Light Force spell, but they can go for some Bonnie Talene combo. It basically does counter this team because they'll debuff the Harak, they'll kill the Harak, and then we're losing out on a lot of our kill threat. And Sylvina, if she's like jumping onto the enemy Damien, enemy Talene, there's no value of that for me. So I do understand that Graveborn Faction Tal Harak, it isn't the top tier PvP hero, but it is a very good option on offense. If you run this team on offense and pick out your defenses wisely, you can clear probably anything. Almost anything. The only other option to consider is running Dunlinger rather than Siren, because that offers some more value, preventing the enemy from casting their ultimate. But I think Siren is actually better to have another kill threat in here, because the thing is, even if I brought Dunlinger, it still is this team is counterable by Talene Bonnie. That is basically the way that you deal with this Harak. So Harak is not the overall foolproof defense. However, you can't put together 3 foolproof defenses. It just isn't possible. Like, if other people have Paragon 4 heroes, which they do have on this server now, they will be able to find a way of breaking whatever defense I put up, other than maybe the final team I have here, which is the Talene team. This team is very, very, very strong, and especially on this final map, which has an uneven advantage because you have the buff tiles, they do not. I think this is going to be the one defense which is going to be almost unbreakable. The only way I've seen people break this is with Cryonaya comps, like boosting energy of Cryonaya really quickly. However, it isn't 100% chance. Bonnie, Tassi have incredible like nuking potential, and Talene, well, Talene does get counted by Cryonaya. However, what we plan here is we have Damien Charms onto Talene. Talene is in the front, so she is going to tank the aggro of the opponent. Hopefully, she can get her energy to cast her ultimate quickly. And Haywin has her invincibility from her charms, so I think it should be fine for her to basically... Yeah, it should be fine for Haywin to survive without giving Damien Charms onto Haywin. Because in the past, what I've done here, and what I was thinking at first, is to run Damien Charms onto Haywin to protect her even further. But I don't think she needs it. And the charm effect of Damien is really good onto Talene. Like, if you see it here, the first ultimate cast can stun all enemies for 3 seconds. That is massive crowd control. Haywin would not be able to get that value because Haywin doesn't target anyone with her ultimate, any of the enemies. And she gets a shield, energy on hit. along with Talene's charms, also giving her energy on hit, or energy per second, she's going to be ramping up quickly. So that's my idea with the Storm Strike spell. This is almost foolproof. It is counterable by Krynaya, but that's the thing. Almost every defense is counterable, no matter how many Paragon 4 heroes you have, no matter what defense you put together. The opponent will be able to find, if they have equal level of investment, they will be able to find a counter to every defense you run. That is just the state of AFK Journey. Offense has the advantage, but this thing is going to be... There's major kill threats on all 3 teams. That's always something you want to work for. And you want to think about, if everything goes perfectly, is this going to be able to shred through enemy teams? And definitely all 3 of these teams have that potential. And that is why they are the best pay-to-win teams I'm going to be running this week. Again, there will be a formation ID in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. If you guys are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's hit it before the end of the season. Thank you guys so much for the support. Also, guys, join my AFK Journey Discord server. We have over 3,010 active members there, chatting about everything related to AFK Journey, about when the collab came out, everyone's speculating over there, basically everything. So definitely, I look forward to you guys joining and chatting with you guys there. But thank you for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.